Mr. Truck here. I'm in California with the fuel box. This is where they're made. This is an all-American product. Pretty cool. It's Mr. Truck. The tanks are made here, the toolbox are made here, the pumps are made here. It's put together here. Great product, high quality. It is a marine grade aluminum, so it's made to resist, the salts, the corrosion, all those things that can happen to you. All the welding is done on flat surfaces. It's not a spot welded tank. They've got baffles in it. They've got anywhere from a 37 gallon to an 87 gallon tank. This is made for that long range, so you can get to the fuel station where it's 20 cents a gallon and 30 cents a gallon cheaper. It's going to save you a lot of money. That'll pay for the tank. Plus you've got the protected toolbox that's made, it's totally weatherproof. It's got a rubber gasket with the wide lip to seal it up. So it'll keep everything safe. It's got the nice T-locks on it. This is an industrial grade commercial type of toolbox that you can put in your truck and use every day. This is industrial grade T-latch. It's ready to last forever. Much heavier duty, and there's latch from one side, so you can unlock it from one side. You don't have to unlatch both of them. You just can reach in from one side and open your toolbox. And this is the pump. This is inside, it's a cast iron pump, and that way it's protected and it's locked, so it's safe. So you can fill up your tractor, fill up whatever you need to do. And then in the rubber gasket up here, this is like you see on drop downs on the better aluminum trailers, and it fits this flat lip. And all that is to keep the dirt out of your toolbox, to seal it up. And the tank and the fuel box are actually separate. They bolt together, so you do have a floor in your toolbox that protects it. You put the urethane coating in there and things will bang around, not be noisy, and will not get the black powder on you from what aluminum gives off when you rub it a lot. So this is a good way. You can repair the tanks, you can replace the tanks and the toolbox separately. Much better design. In the lid, it's reinforced. Of course, it has all the extra bends to make it stronger, but there's also another reinforcing section in the middle. And it's epoxied in, just like what the components are on pickup trucks. Makes a much stiffer lid, stronger lid. A one-handed latch, a one-handed opening. Awesome. And on the inside where your latches are, they're protected. You've got a rod in there, otherwise this way your tools don't bang into it, something doesn't bang into it where you can't get the tank open. This is how you determine where you got a good box, is when that's all covered, protected, and you can open it from one side, and it latches both latches and unlatches both latches. The cheaper ones, you have to go inside, stand in the middle, push down the tank, and then open it. Not on the fuel box.
New from the fuel box is a pork chop toolbox. These are the ones that go over your fender well and come out the back end of your tailgate. This, of course, is the same quality that the fuel box is known for, with the great lips, the reinforced lids. This has the slide-out trays. So many uses for this, it makes it convenient to get your tools. If you get the fuel box option with the manual pump, transfer pump for your tractors, you get a much better system here. This actually is a reinforced neck tube that your regular pipe would go in there for your filler pump, not just a ring welded on top, but a reinforced tube coming down to keep that pipe straight and not going to break off on you. This is a much better design from Fuel Box.
I'm here with John Zylstra. He's the guy who makes these fuel boxes, the fuel box. And the difference in I guess this is like the float thing that tells you how full the tank is.
Yeah, this is the float sending unit that goes into our fuel box.
Okay.
And the difference between them is this one here is the old one I have. This is what most of our competitors use.
Okay, that one has like a regular float on it.
With an arm.
With an arm. You like some of the old fuel tanks, see it on cars and such.
And with the problem we have with a lot of our customers are off-road and rough terrain, and this arm will actually break off.
Oh goodness.
And then you can kind of see the way that it's more exposed, the sanding.
Right, it looks like it's all exposed to the fuel. That's got to be corrosive to it. And you use it, have a better idea.
Yep, we actually went with this unit here that's made in the United States. And it's a transistor unit inside this tube, and then there's a float that goes up and down.
Oh,
so it's all
there's a
sealed.
float in there. Okay, cool.
And you can see it's all made on aluminum.
Yeah, it looks more protected totally. You keep all your transistors and all that stuff inside.
Yes.
That's awesome. It's a better idea.
Yep.
Cool.
Make a better box.
Yeah.
Yeah, on this box here we're getting ready to spray with our Z-liner. And what we're doing, the customer wanted the top part of it left aluminum, diamond plate, and we're spraying the bottom part. So what we're doing is we're spraying, we're two-toning it, and then we're going to spray the inside. And that works out. That works out real nice because the tools and everything rattle around in them, and it holds them in place, and it keeps from getting all that.
Yeah, I like that idea of having the inside sprayed, because a lot of times you got to put a mat down or something. These tools bang around in there, and then like we talked about before, in that aluminum, you can get that black coating on everything.
Yes, and this eliminates that.
That's good. Takes away some of the sound, coats it up, and that's nice. And then another thing we need to bring out is how this is a double floor. There's the floor of the toolbox, and then there's the tank.
Yeah.
You do that separately, so you can actually replace the tank or replace the toolbox. You don't have to buy the whole unit.
Yeah.
If you have damage or whatever you want to do, that's a very good idea.
The main reason for that is if you drop a heavy item in the box, you're not going to punch a hole in the tank. You've got extra protection there.
Why be so far away that helps it dry?
Yeah, as it's being applied, this two products together, you need to add a little bit of time for this to cure, so you can do it on the product. And if you spray too close, it go on too heavy and thick, and it's run, and it's going to be protection for it.
Well, that's awesome. So there's some skills in that part of it too. Got it all figured out.
This polyurea coating is great stuff, very tough stuff, very durable. It helps deadens the sound on the tank, on the toolbox. The noise of the tools rattling around in there and everything else. And on the lid, it's great for your pet run. Let the dogs run on top of that if that's what you do. It gives you some traction, but it's a quieter system. It's similar to a bed liner in your truck.
Here with Rebecca Zylstra, watching her build the wiring harnesses for the fuel box. She's putting in the fuse blocks now, and you're going to do the whole harness for all of these, and then we'll watch how they build the controllers.
Yes.
You've been doing this for a while.
Yes, I've been doing it for about 6 years now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you're in charge of marketing.
I am, yep.
Dual purposes.
Yes.
Awesome. Everything's made in California or made in the U.S.
Correct.
And
Yep.
that's fuel pumps, tanks, everything.
Everything, yep.
That's awesome.
Do most of the stuff here at the shop. It's all family run and operated.
Oh yes, since 1981.
Yes.
That's awesome. It's harder and harder to find a whole company that's all made here. This is wonderful. The connections are soldered. They're not just a crimp tab. They're soldered.
Yeah, everything's crimped, soldered, heat stringed. Every connection is.
Cool. So how many a day do you build in your life?
Well, if I was out here all day making some, I could make like at least 20 a day.
Yeah. I'm here with Jose at the fuel box, and you're going to make some circuit boards for the fuel box controllers. That was called the auto fuel controller.
Yes.
And you're going to solder it all together, and this is made separate for all the truck brands. So you've got 6 for Ram.
It varies for year, make, and model.
Okay, so it could be up to 6 on Ram
Yes.
and 2 on Ford and
Yes.
2 on GM. You guys make them specifically for those trucks, which is very good. That way you know it's all going to work together just like an OEM unit would. 'Cause that measures off the fuel sending unit of the truck itself. So you've got to match all that up. Well, that sounds like a good thing to do, a good way to do it. So it's more like all the factory.
More like
factory.
OEM,
Yes,
yes.
exactly. That's a good way to put it. Let me watch you build them.
All right. This is going to be our connection to our wire loom and to the controller.
All handmade in California.
Just dry it real quick over here. Once we test it, I'll show you test it, I'm going to change it to a different controller.
Oh yeah. you ship anything to Australia yet?
We have.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, it seems to be there. They finally figured out what big trucks are. And they're buying full-size horse trailers and big trucks.
Yep.
So it's
After it's all put together, put it in equivalent to 2005 to 2009 GM, which your on and off voltage would be 1.9 volts and 1.2. That's the pump turning on like you would in your vehicle, and that's the pump turning off about 3/4 of the vehicle. The sending unit, test that as well. See the power down. Now it's ready to be shipped.
awesome. This is the new controller and the old controller. So this is the old controller.
This is the old one.
And what's the improvement on the new one, other than being smaller and more stealth? And
Yeah.
I guess it fits the dashes better.
Yeah, the new trucks are the dashes are just getting more crowded with more stuff on them. So we came up with a new design that's a little bit smaller.
Okay.
We went black too, because there's not much chrome much in these trucks anymore. So we went black,
Yeah.
and works basically the same. We still have the off and auto switch, but the only thing we did add was a manual transfer switch. So you push this button, and then it turns on the pump, and we got it pumping for about 5 minutes.
Okay.
And what that does is, if a guy, just has a little bit left fuel in the auxiliary tank and he wants to drain it for some reason, he can turn that on, push that button, it'll drain it out.
Okay.
Or, it gives you a little more manual control instead of just automatic.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. I'm sure there's times you need to use that. And it is smaller. Yeah, that's true. That would look better on the cord, and you Velcro that wherever you want to, wherever it's getting a good plane of vision, so you don't have to look down for it.
We have a lot of options on mounting. We do Velcro only though, because we don't put any holes in the dash. So you can mount them on the center console, on the dash. Most of the time we put them just left of the steering wheel by the column.
How many feet of cord do you get?
You got about 10 feet of cord.
10 feet. Okay.
Yep.
Well,
So
that's cool.
we have a lot of options where to mount it.
Looks like that's a waterproof connection on the end.
It's sealed. Got an O-ring
Is that
inside.
Delphi plug, or is that?
It's a special plug made for just us.
Okay.
But it does have an O-ring that it mounts to, and so it's
That's good. That's good.
like a weather pack connector.
You got a tape measure on you?
Uh-huh. Well, this one is 15 inches wide. Our 20 inches will go right up to it.
Okay. Okay, so you've got 5 inches there. Zoom in on 5. What am I showing? 16 inches?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And in this, you say.
Go up to FTC 44, which actually is 23 inches on the top.
Okay.
So it goes up here, but it tapers back.
Okay.
So actually, right there is 23 inches.
So you can put a bigger box in than this one is, but it certainly can fit the fifth wheel.
And then our FTC 60 is at 20 inches, and it just clears like this hitch here.
Well, that's good. So you can go up 20 inches and not hit the frame of the companion, the base.
Yep.
Good. Okay. This is how they start out. They're punched out, and then you have the flange along the outside edge and actually on the baffles, and that's all about.
Yeah, here's an end piece, so you can see all the corners we've got a flange in it.
That's cool.
To give it strength, and plus it gives us a lot more air to weld to.
Right, so it's not a bunch of butt welds, it's actually aluminum holding it together plus the weld holding it together. And that's how everything is inside the tank, including the baffles.
And it's made out of 125 thousandths aluminum. And then even the baffles we flange that, because every time you put a bend, you get strength.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. We got on the baffles too. There's flange on all four corners, and they'll be welded in.
Well, that's good. And there's two baffles. Is that pretty common in the industry to have two baffles, or?
That's what we do.
Yeah. And that keeps the sloshing down and controls.
Well, it's more than that. It also gives you strength in the tank.
Oh, sure.
If you didn't have the baffles, the tank would want to blow up like a balloon.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. Just reinforcing, but yeah, I like
if you put weight on top of the tank, then this help support that weight like a truss.
Sure, sure. Yeah, the flange, having those lips everywhere, that certainly is a much better way to go than the common butt weld you'd see. Yeah. Yeah, awesome. Got little flanges on every part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it certainly is a quality tank. Now tell me, on this aluminum, you use marine grade, and that's to resist the salt. Of course, you're on the west coast by the ocean, so you got salt problems. But
Well, it's just a higher quality aluminum, and it's designed for any kind of corrosion. It just, the luster of aluminum, like on our bright diamond plates, will last longer than the cheaper aluminum. It keeps the shine better, and you'll get more years of service out of it. They make hundreds of different grades of aluminum.
Yeah.
And we found aluminum that we call it marine grade because it has a lot more properties in it that help, against corrosion, and like then for inside the tank too. There's some cheap aluminums that will actually corrode like rust, and it'll get a white powder.
oh, sure, sure.
And this won't do that because of the, made of the aluminum. It's designed to keep from doing that.
Yeah, that's what you see on horse traders on the floor, the aluminum floor. If you don't clean them out, they'll turn white. They'll have, and that's corrosion.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is certainly a better way to do it, and that should help for around the country for all the problems we have with the stuff they spray on the roads. Okay, this is where the wiring harness goes in through the firewall. And what's your name, sir?
My name's Gabriel.
Gabriel. Okay, you've done a lot of these installs?
Too many.
Too many?
Just because there's more space there than on this side.
Yeah, that's how a lot of trucks are. There seems to be leftover space on the left side of the steering wheel.
Okay. First thing I do is to prep the truck is get an alcohol wipe or some kind of cleaning solvent. Make sure to take off the paint and wipe the surface from dust and debris so the actual Velcro would stick to it.
Not if it's possible, you try to pick a spot that the sunlight doesn't hit, or does it matter?
It really doesn't matter. The Velcro that we send is a really high temperature Velcro.
The good stuff.
It's
Is
the
this
good
3M
stuff.
or what is it?
It's actually just made by Velcro itself, the company.
Okay, good.
It's really good stuff.
I've had some cheap stuff I put on the dash and just kind of falls down as the
Yeah,
sun hits.
no, this actually.
They make different qualities.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
one actually works really well. So then you take off the Velcro backing, put it on the controller itself, rub it on there. Then the next step you do is you get the wire loom and you just put it in between the little steering column, and then it'll come out the bottom. I'll just shove it in there for now. You'll get the idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Next, you peel the backing off and stick it on the location, nice and straight, and then tuck your wires in to make it look nice.
Awesome. Well, that's good. That matches this truck really well.
Yep, and then you have your switches here you can easily get to.
And you can get one down here in the shop in about, 3 hours?
About 3 to 4 hours, yes.
Awesome. Okay, where does this go?
All right, first thing is you have one end of the harness has a tube, black and blue wire right there.
Okay.
You're gonna shove that down in between.
That goes to the pump?
This actually will go to the sending unit inside your tank.
Okay.
The pump is a little bit farther down, and it's gonna be a black and orange with the weather pack fitting on it.
Oh, good, good.
So you shove this down inside the frame, down underneath, and then underneath you'll be able to pull it through to the rest of the truck. Yeah.
These engine compartments don't quite have the room they used to have.
No. Oh, I see it. Okay, right there.
Hey, pull it back and show them the yellow wire.
This yellow wire right here
Uh-huh.
is what gets hooked up to your color coded on the instructions we send you to the actual sending unit of the stock truck.
Okay, so that's where you cut into that wire loom on the frame.
Yes, that's where you cut into the wire loom, and this actually gets put on through a T connector and a male spade that'll go through there.
Okay, good.
And then the actual relay and other components that get hooked up, you want to be able to mount and zip tie to the frame. I usually mount it next to the factory ground here through the relay hole. You put a zip tie and zip tie everything on nice and snug like this. That way it doesn't bounce around, break your relay.
Well, that's good. Yeah, you want it to still look like a factory truck,
Yes.
especially wiring.
And this red wire will actually go to your key on and off switch in your actual fuse compartment. Different vehicles have different compartments located. This one on this Ford is located way in the back. Dodges and GMs are usually located right here where this actual battery is at.
Okay, and then we've already dropped the part that goes to the controller.
Not yet. And then here's your ground. The ground will actually go to your factory ground spot right here.
All right.
Okay. You're gonna have two fuses, a 15 amp and a 3 amp fuse, and this is where the actual controller that comes through the firewall will hook up to.
Oh, okay. Well, that'd be easy to hook up. Then all comes forward. I kept thinking you had to go through the floor, but you don't have to do any of that.
No.
It's coming through a normal.
Yeah, there's
slot in the firewall.
there's a rubber garment right here in the back, down underneath the actual fuse holder on the Fords that you just open up and you can shove the wire through from the
Well, that's
through the
good,
firewall.
because you don't want to make it noisy or have any kind of air leaks. That's good.
Yes.
Good. Yeah. Awesome. So it comes along that top loom, follows the frame underneath the truck, and past the fuel filter, and right there in that part of the loom sitting inside the C channel of the frame is where you tie into the harness from the truck.
Yes.
Okay, and then the pump itself is back on the front part of the fender well. I guess it's the front part of the bed corner. And this one's muddy, but that's where the pump is mounted. So it's all up out of the way, tucked under so nothing can hit it. Pretty well protected.
And here it is, the new showroom for the fuel box. This is where they ship the fuel boxes all across the country. And they sell you Z-liners, toolboxes, accessories, everything you want for your truck for towing your trailer. It's all here in their shop and their showroom. And this is where they can actually do install work on your truck. They've got a full service shop. And then, you know, if you're in California, they can change your oil. It's not always easy to find a good place to change oil on trucks, but they have it here.